Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Murder World, Game Over, issue number 1. Don't let that, but this is the final issue in this particular part. They're probably going to go into another one featuring, I'm not going to get into all that good stuff. You're going to have to read the comic book. Talking about reading comic books, I missed a freaking comic book. How the hell did that happen? There was the Moon Knight one, the Murder World Moon Knight issue 1, and I freaking missed it. Derp! So I went back and I read it. In the meantime, I'll review it really quickly. Moon Knight shows up at one point, and all but 4 people die. Starting off with this comic book, there's a dead Moon Knight in front of them. It's an LMD, surprise, and there are 4 guys left. Okay, there we go. There's your review for the previous issue. Anyway, I actually did really like that issue a lot, and I loved this issue. I can't believe I freaking loved this issue this damn much. I mean, granted, it's some people who actually know what the hell they're doing, but that's no excuse. That's no excuse. Let's get talking about those people. Then we'll talk about the comic book a little more. So the writers are Jim Zub and Ray Fox. Netho Diaz does the layouts. So that's supposed to be the original pencils, but the pencils and inks are by Lorenzo Temeta. Okay, I'm going to stop making fun of people's names. And Matt Mila doing the colors. Corey Petit on letters. Paco Medina and Jesus Abertov doing the covers. And there's a variant cover by Rian Gonzalez. Okay, rock on, baby. Let's go. So, Black Widow showed up in the previous issue to save them. And this was actually really good because because they freaking killed Black Widow. They put a freaking crescent dart right through her eye. Like, oh my God, they're not going to have the freaking Black Widow all of a sudden, like, have a missing eye for a while. I mean, like, they could, and that would actually be interesting. Imagine that. Having a Black Widow series where she's actually got an eye missing for a while. I mean, they can always give it back at some point. You know, it's got a robotic eye and allows her to do whatever. You know, it's or biologically regrow an eye or something. Yeah, it's a comic book. You know they can do it. If they can cut people's hands off and just randomly, willy-nilly give them hands back, I'm sure they'll be fine. Do you remember the one time when they blew off, what's his name's arm? Adam's arm in the DC Comics, and they replaced it with Hawkman's arm, and then Hawkman wakes up, doesn't even get resurrected, just wakes back up. It's like, hey, what's going on? You took my arm. I'm sorry I took your arm. So that's all right. Keep it. What? Oh my God. Oh, I'm dying here. Anyway, so this comic book, this was really good. It actually wasn't the Black Widow. Surprise, it was a freaking LMD. And it had me going too. It genuinely had me going also, because I'm like, she's going to wake up at some point, right? She's going to just, like that. And like something. Nope, it was an LMD. And that was perfect because we've been seeing Black Widow talk about coming after him. I'm just like, was that the real Black Widow that was supposed to be coming after him? It turns out it was. It was. But that happens at the end of this comic book. And it's worth seeing. It's worth reading this whole comic book and hating the whole comic book just to get to the end and say, oh my. Oh my, all right, let's go. But as far as this comic book itself and not thinking about what's going to happen in the future, that's going to happen. There was a lot of praise in this book for the Kelly Thompson Black Widow run, which, let's be realistic, was effing amazing. Moving on. Some of the parts in this book. I said that we're probably not going to like anybody in this comic book, right? I was nervous and worried that Eve was going to win in this comic book, the bald black chick who wound up losing an arm. See what I mean about losing arms? I really thought that she was going to wind up winning at the end. I'm not going to spoil who wins in this one. I think I kind of just sort of spoiled this one. Eve doesn't win, okay? Listen, go freaking read the comic book if you didn't read the comic book. Okay, this review is for people who have read the comic book. Eve doesn't win this. She actually winds up dying in this, and it was a good death. And it was fast, but it was still a redeeming death. I could feel that. I was feeling that. That's awesome. Who actually won is someone else who is essentially undeserving. And it wouldn't matter who would have won. I mean, you've got the one guy who, like, he's just a bad guy. He's the leapfrog. And if anything, like, maybe he'd be the one that you'd root for the most, but he's still a bad guy. Then you've also got the Hydra agent, who's clearly the most capable person here. And then you got the one guy who, as they go on, you find more and more about how bad this guy actually is. He's not just stupid, he's actually bad. All three of these people, you're sitting here looking like, I don't want any of these people to win. Oh man, none of those people deserve to win. There was actually a clear winner though. And I'm impressed with the way they did it. I really am. Because this individual tried to actually go good. It was a mission to kill Arcade and take his stuff. Who actually won? Wow. There was a potential redemption arc at the very end, but weakness is weakness. That's the thing. This individual is not stupid, right? It's constantly the mention of, oh, that was stupid, that was stupid, that was stupid. No, this individual was just weak, and that's the thing. And this is a very important function. I teach my kids this stuff all the time. You know? Like, I want your kids to always stay together, always be as one unit. You're going to make friends, you make friends who are tough, not friends who are smart. You kids are smart. Don't worry about smart kids. Smart kids aren't going to help you if the chips go down. All right? If they happen to be smart, also cool. But you get on the sports teams and you hang out with the sports guys, because those are the people who hopefully will be doing cool things and not getting into trouble. And when the chips are down, they'll have your back. That's what you need to look for. Unless sports have changed since I was a kid. I don't know. But that's what you got to do. You got to have that one-track sports mind. Make a whole lot of accomplishments in your life, in your school life, so that you have the confidence to be amazing when you move on. But you need people who are in your corner. You are useful to them, and they are useful to you. That's what you need. Weak people, they turn on each other in a heartbeat. There's a fight. I'm not going to be standing right there while you're getting beaten up and just looking down the ground. Talking about, oh, they're not going to beat me up next. Ugh, that's horrible. I've seen that. That's disgusting. Your girl starts talking to that person, they start talking back. Dude, don't ever hang around weak people. In this particular case, that guy was weakness personified. That was terrible. This was a fantastic comic book. This whole series was fantastic. You guys who are going to get this on trade, I kind of sort of just a little bit envy you. Just a little bit. Because this is one of those trades where you're going to look back fondly upon. And you're going to reread this. You're going to pull this off of your shelf multiple times and you're going to reread this. You're going to go out on some kind of a camping trip or some kind of little mini vacation or something like that. You'll be thinking, what should I bring with me? And this, I promise you, this will be one of the ones that you bring with me. 2 years from now, you're going to look back and be like, Professor Bill said this was going to happen. You're going to pull that thing off and stick it in your backpack, duffel bag, rucksack, whatever it's going to be. You're going to bring it with you. This was a really fun, very rereadable story. And I can't wait to see the next one that comes out. I just hope the same team is on it. Like, down to the letter. I hope the exact same, down to the letter, down to the letterer. I hope that the exact same team is on the next one. I hope it's well thought out. Remember, this one was delayed. This series, this Murder World series, was delayed for several years, right? I think because of the COVID, and then because of something before that, there was a lot that caused it to be delayed. And all of a sudden it came out. And yet you could still see that it was updated because they mentioned that Black Widow thing in here, right? So, and to the best of my knowledge, Thompson's Black Widow thing was not delayed at any point. So this was actually done before that, yet it references it. So they went back to it really quick. That's the kind of love, that's the kind of book that you write where you can have some love for it because you know that it's going to be successful, right? Honestly, hopefully the creators of this comic book didn't have any sweat that this was going to be a popular comic book. This is, I gotta say, This has got to be like the comic book of the week for me. But like in trade format, like as far as a series, like finishing the series, sticking the landing the way that it did, this blew it away. This absolutely blew it out of the water for me. Like depth charges, you know what I'm saying? Damn the torpedoes and full speed ahead. Go look up the origin of that one, guys. This was fantastic. I'm going to highly recommend this whole series. If you haven't read the series yet, it wouldn't hurt to get that trade paperback when it comes out. Put it in pre-order right now. You know, don't wait for that final cutoff date. Go and put in the pre-order for it right now and have it show up in your pull box one of these days. See if you can get all of them on digital if that's what you want to do. That's also a great way to take it with you and not have the extra weight. Guys, I will talk to you later. Hopefully when I talk to you later, you'll be able to talk to me about how good this freaking series was. Until then, like the video, watch an ad. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.